What's going on, Node Nation? It's your host, CJ Wilson with DoakTalk. I'm going to go ahead and get this therapy session started, I guess. As you guys know, FSU lost 24-21 over in Ireland to Georgia Tech. And just looking at the box score and going over certain things is crazy because it was damn near identical across the board. FSU had 20 first downs to Georgia Tech's 18. We're 5 for 12 for third downs. They were 5 for 9, around 291 total yards for FSU. 336 for Georgia Tech, 193 passing yards for FSU, 146 for Georgia Tech. Time of possession, 30 for FSU, 29 for Georgia Tech. It's literally identical. It's literally identical until we get to one stat. Then I'll kind of jump into the breakdown from there. FSU had 98 rushing yards, and Georgia Tech had 190 rushing yards. Similar attempts, 31 attempts for FSU and 36 for Georgia Tech. But the other discrepancy, 3.2 yards per carry for FSU. This is just crazy to even say 5.3 yards per carry for Georgia Tech. Yeah. All right, so I'm about to go ahead and get into this breakdown. We're going to go ahead and start with the defense first off. I don't know you guys hear a horn beep. My bad. All right, we'll go ahead and get into the breakdown real quick. Before we get started, make sure you guys like this video. Please like this video. Let's get it started and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to jump into the defense first. So, yeah, like I said, 190 rushing yards. Let's start right there. I guess we'll talk about defensive line. And the defensive line played terrible, to say the least. Literally played terrible. We were beat physically. Up front. Georgia Tech pretty much just imposed their will on us. Defensive tackles is pretty much non-existent. As you guys probably seen on Twitter and things like that. There's plays on the timeline where it's like Georgia Tech is getting pushed on our defensive tackles and are in the lap of the linebackers. We have linebackers just over pursuing and doing their own thing in certain positions. But yeah, they imposed their will. We didn't tackle well. We're out of position for the most part. I'm not sure about it's no lead. I don't see leaders on defense either, like we had in years past. When I say leaders, speaking about leaders, I don't see a Caden DeLoach, a Tatum Bethune, Fabian Lovett, Jared Verse, those type of guys being those type of vocal leaders. You guys probably don't know this, but after we had a bad outing against Boston College last year, Tatum Bethune and Kalen DeLoach pretty much had a one-on-one meeting outside of the coaches with the defense on their own, trying to figure out what the issues was and things like that. I don't see that on this defense. I don't see any guys that's kind of stepping up in that role thus far with this within the first game, of course. But it just doesn't on the surface. We don't seem like we have that type of player. And also last year, when I didn't see yesterday as far as one guy making the play. So last year, it's situations where FSU needed a play. I needed a play to be made, and we had somebody make a play. You go to the Clemson game. Clemson was driving, did their thing, and we had the big time Caden DeLoach type of play. Even last year, just speaking about defensive line, you have a Jared Verse big play to kind of stop and drive. You will have a Braden Fisk. You will have a Fabian Lovett either. Like, see, it comes to a point of drive where okay, just a person on defense. All right, I'm going to make a play to change the damn momentum. I'm going to make a play to change, the tides of the game and this, that, and the third. And it seems like the only player who showed up on FSU from both sides of the ball in that position was damn Fitzgerald, who had a hell of a day. That's kind of getting overshadowed. He's 2 for 2, both kicks 50 plus yard, a 59 yard that would have been good for 60 plus. But we're kind of it's overshadowed just for how bad we played overall on the defense. Speaking of, let's go. I guess Patrick Payne. Patrick Payne. We heard about him gaining, and one of the issues with Patrick Payne last year was his physicality within the run game, lack thereof physicality in the run game, pass rushing in certain situations. We noticed, within last offseason and this offseason, it's been noted that he pretty much went from 135 to around 250 as far as weight. So you would think with him getting those extra pounds that, he'll be more of an enforcer within the run game. No, that wasn't the case. And just speaking of that, it's not. You could lift all the damn weights you want. You could you could gain weight this, that, and the third. You have to have a mindset. And Jared Verse, he's a different type of defensive end. You know, he's not a lot of defensive ends are wired like Jared Verse, to where you're playing very stout in the run game and very stout in the in pass rush situations. Jared Verse welcomed the type of game we had yesterday against Georgia Tech. Like, he welcomed that type of game as far as being physical at the line of scrimmage and things like that. Patrick Payton, he shied away for those situations, tried to be finesse. No, within this game, it wasn't a finesse type of game, and it's not a game where you can kind of avoid stuff. In order to disrupt what Georgia Tech was doing offensively, you got to put a mask on the mask, a face on the face, and pretty much just hit the motherfuckers in the mouth. Same shit. It's literally the same shit. It's literally the same shit they did to us on defense in regards to our run game. That's exactly how you attack a Georgia Tech style offense. Defensive tackles. Yeah, man. It was a lot of resources were invested in Josh Farmer and Daryl Jackson, and yesterday it wasn't a return at all. They got manhandled in the middle. They played a terrible game. They got manhandled in the middle. We got bullied. That wasn't a good look. But this, in the bad part about it, as bad as the defensive line played, the linebackers were even worse. Like, that's the crazy part about it. So the front seven as a whole just wasn't that good. Marvin Jones Jr. is probably our best defensive lineman yesterday on the game yesterday, and that's not really saying a good thing because he left a lot to be desired as well. But I think it's just a mindset thing. But just speaking about the linebackers were atrocious, man. And like, we had bad eyes, and that's one thing as a linebacker. You gotta have good eyes, man. You gotta have good eyes. You gotta have good instincts and flow and things like that. You have to. First off, you got to go in the right gaps, but also it's all about not over pursuing and understanding your angles and things like that. So Omar Graham had a pretty rough game, and it is crazy because it's kind of like the same thing we saw last year in certain situations, and exactly what we saw in the Georgia game. Omar Graham wasn't good in Georgia. He got exposed in the Georgia game, and it was kind of the same thing here. Just looked lost in certain situations, pass game, run game, all around. He just looked lost out there. I'm pretty sure he probably graded very poorly from a PFF standpoint. Blake Nicholson looked damn good to me, actually. He looked very good to me. I really like what I saw from Blake. I was just kind of baffled as far as why his reps was kind of limited, but Blake was physical. He was fast. He was a quick trigger. Blake played the best out of the linebackers, in my opinion. DJ Lundy, his athletic limitations were on display in this game. Last year, teaming up with Tatum Bethune and Kalen DeLoach, you could kind of mask that in certain situations, but him being the guy at linebacker, pretty much the best linebacker we have in playing all three downs, there's some exposure there. If you guys look at it, was like a 3rd and 7 to Haynes King, and we brought pressure off the edge from the nickel, and DJ Lundy was pretty much matched up one-on-one with the running back. Running back went straight to the flats. Lundy responded and triggered on par, so to speak. It wasn't a late delay or it wasn't a bad read. He just athletically could have run the running back, and the running back had an angle. You saw they ended up turning up a first down where he ended up putting, I think it was DJ Lundy and number 3 on skates and pretty much making them fall. So yeah, Lundy, he is what he is athletically and things like that. So they just pretty much expose that. So, but it's nothing we can do on that. Well, I can't say it's something we can do. I think Blake Nicholson is probably best fit to play in that position from an athletic standpoint. You guys know, I think we gotta get Blake more reps. We have to get Blake more reps. But from an athletic standpoint, Blake played running back in high school. He's a 4.5 type of guy, very athletic, can move. So for him, he's perfect in those situations to kind of guard those running backs and be that active, fast flow linebacker that we typically see at FSU. DJ Lundy just couldn't do that physically. We had a super chat real quick. Let's go ahead and jump into that. I'll get into the rest of the breakdown real quick. Novell, I'm getting to Mike.
Tell him to bring me my money.
Appreciate the donation, Hector, man. I'm going to get Norvell in a second once we get to offense for sure. But Norvell looks shell-shocked. He needs to unlock demon time, stop being so damn conservative. As always, go nose. I appreciate that, Hector, and I agree 100%. I'm going to get to the offense in a second to speak about the game plan. But yeah, overall from the team, it was we were under 60% from an overall team PFF standpoint. Worst grade since 2021. So they just played bad football. And it's crazy. We still had a damn chance to win the damn game. But what really stood out to me, man, like I said, it's the run game. The defensive backs played okay. For the most part, we didn't really get tested in the fucking secondary because Georgia Tech didn't have to pass. It was Haynes King probably had 5 true throwing situations through the entire game. We had to make an actual play downfield and throw the ball downfield. They were pretty much ahead of the sticks for the most part of the game. He was only 11 to 16, 146 yards. What he hurt us as the run game. He had 15 rushes for 54 yards. And I said on the pregame, if you guys watch the pregame video, I think the only way Georgia Tech can beat us is if we turn the ball over and Haynes King starts running and be effective with his legs. We didn't turn the ball over, but damn, their running game was hitting on all cylinders from the running back position, Haynes King, this, that, and third. And this times when we had Haynes King balled up behind the line of scrimmage, we take bad angles and he get to the edge around on us, and we're like, well, damn, what the hell is going on in regards to that? So it's bad angle. I know Haynes King isn't a 4-4 type of guy. He's not faster than some of our DBs, but he got to the corner where AZ could have had him for like a 2-yard loss, and it turns to a 3 to 4 yard gain on the edge. So yeah, it was just a combination of running the football and things like that wasn't good at all, in my opinion, from the FSU standpoint. What really killed us and what stood out in regards to the game was not being able to get off the field. So check this out. First, you had a 14-play, 75-yard drive from Georgia Tech for a touchdown. You have another 11-play for 89 yards for a touchdown for Georgia Tech. And also you have this is what really fucking blew me. So you seen that, and I guess you could kind of figure out how the game was going to go. But the last possession of the game, before FSU scored that touchdown, we kicked the ball off. They had 6 minutes and 18 seconds left on the clock, and FSU had 3 timeouts. 3 timeouts. FSU didn't get the ball back at all. If you would have told me that we kicked the ball off with 6 minutes left and get the ball back and have 3 timeouts, I'm thinking we get the damn ball back and have a chance to actually respond to Georgia Tech, possibly scoring or going ahead, this, that, and third. We would have a chance to pretty much win the game at the end. Defense didn't do their job. You had a 16-play drive to close the game out. So that goes back to my point about who wants it. Who's going to step up and make that play, right? Nobody answered the bell in regards to, I'm going to make this play for this team. I'm going to get us off the field, this, that, and the third. So you factored in those 3 drives of 14 plays, 11 plays, and 16 plays. They took up a quarter and a half of time off the clock. A quarter and a half. So 3 possessions, your defense is on the field for a quarter and a half. It's crazy. 3 possessions, a quarter and a half, your defense is on the field. That cannot happen. That's not winning football. That's not FSU football. Like that cannot happen. You're not going to win games when you can't get off the field. You have 3 possessions where they take more than six minutes off the clock from all 3 possessions. All 3 possessions going for 10 plus plays, and you end up giving up 17 points within those possessions. That's tough to win. That's real tough to win. Are you guys here again? Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Yes, it's a lack of leadership for sure on the defensive side of the ball, and that has to be addressed. I'm not sure. Well, I know it was kind of questions on who would step up and be that leader after, a Kalen DeLoach, a Tatum Bethune, a Fabian Lovett. Those 3 are pretty much the vocal guys, the vocal leaders on defense from last year. It was interesting to see who's going to pretty much be that follow-up as far as the voice in the locker room. But it's clear that thus far, we don't have that person that's going to step up, be a leader on defense, and pretty much, hold everybody accountable and make that play when you need that play to get off the field. So again, that's something you can't have. 3 possessions taking up a quarter and a half. I mean, that's pretty much the entire half of football. So 3 possessions damn near took up the entire half of football. That's a lot, Kwame. Let's jump into the offense itself. Let's jump into the offense itself, and to be quite frank with you, the issue of offense was Mike Norvell. Mike Norvell was the issue with. One second, guys. Now we got a few super chats that we're going to address real quick. We're just catching up. Shout out to my guy Kwame. I thought FSU had the best defensive line in football. Lies, all lies. Belt the ass is coming 10-26. Y'all convince yourselves.
Hell no.
Mike's offense. Another lie. Orders being restored. Your super chat just got read. My brother, appreciate the donation. To address your super chat real quick, DJ wasn't an issue at all. So you can talk all the shit you want to about DJ, but DJ was not the issue at all in this game. Shot the roll. Hey man, listen, don't be super chatting me on my platform trying to troll my damn tweets and shit. Now tighten up, man. Book your rooms in Charlotte. Hell, we still got a shot, man. But if we play like we played yesterday, man, you might cancel the damn rooms in Charlotte. All of that. We ain't going to damn Charlotte if we played exactly how we played yesterday. Shout out to my guy Skip. I told Big No that I was afraid of Norvell and his coaching without 13 to bail him out. He had that confused look again. We hate. And then, but even with Trav, I mean, the issue he opened up the playbook. Let me get to my offense take. Like I said, guys. Offensively, Mike Norvell was the issue. I feel like this was the worst call game I've seen him had at FSU. Just due for the fact what he had on offense and things like that. There's been situations in the past where we were limited on offense, and I felt like he had to scale back a little bit due to those limitations. But nah, not at all right now though, man. Like it's nowhere in hell for you to call a game like that. It was crazy. So outside of that first drive, Georgia Tech clearly sold out on the run. Their defensive ends were crashing. Their DBs was crashing as well, killing our pools. Pretty much how Georgia Tech played defensively against us is the exact same way we should have played defensively against them. We waited and reacted for everything to develop. Georgia Tech threw a lot of motion, a lot of misdirection, trying to confuse you and things like that. We tried to wait and be on the reactive side instead of being on the active and being aggressive downhill, crashing those defensive ends, meeting those guys in the backfield, being fucking physical. Simple as that. Georgia Tech was physical, and I know we like to run, we like to pull a lot, pull tackles, pull guards. We run power pulling, GT counter, all of those variations of misdirection type of football to try to have those slow developing run plays. But there's situations where that shit clearly wasn't working, and you got to put a hat for a hat and just bully somebody up front. Simple as that. I seen the offensive line in practice. The offensive line is probably the biggest physically we've had at FSU under Mike Norvell. Those guys are physically imposing, but you're not playing physically imposing type of football. So it was a 3rd and 2 situation where we ended up kicking a field goal for one of Fitz's long field goals where we could have kept that drive going. It was 3rd and 2, and Mike Norvell elected to, which I thought was a great call in regards to getting DJU involved in the run game. He elected to do a run game with DJU. The problem is he's pulling the damn tackle and pulling the guard, and you got guys that's seeing that and shooting those gaps instantly. It's 3rd and 2. What are we doing? What are we pulling for? We're going to play hat for hat football. It's 3rd and 2. You could go in how Norvell play calls, depending on the 3rd and 2 situation. We get stopped short, do the same thing on 4th down. It's 3rd and 2. What in the entire hell are we pulling for? No, there's no need for that. Go straight forward. Hat for hat football. Be physical. Establish the line of scrimmage, which we never did, but you have a chance to do that in certain situations. I feel like we have to We have to have we have to have different blocking schemes in the bag for different situations. In my opinion, that was a situation where you go straight forward, man for man, and just bully Georgia Tech for 2 yards. If you can't get 2 yards in 2 plays, well, shit, you shouldn't be playing P5 football at Florida State. I mean, what are we even talking about? So I feel like that was a Mike Norvell issue. Just speaking about what he did for DJU and things like that. DJU, I want to preface this right now. DJU did not look bad at all. At all. The receivers did not look bad at all. At all. The receivers got open. They got open. It was plenty of times within the game where the receivers were open. The defensive backs at Georgia Tech, they weren't world beaters. Don't get me confused, or they weren't world beaters. But shout out to Mari Harvey, the Tallahassee local kid. He played a hell of a game, really good game. But yeah, he didn't look great though. He was 19. Gary, you say he didn't look great. He was 19 for 27, 193 yards. What do you mean he didn't look great? He didn't have the opportunity to look great. DJU may have missed 3 throws the entire game. The one throw he missed to Ja'Kai Douglas, right after Ja'Kai made that, which was a hell of a throw on third down, a hell of a catch from Ja'Kai to get his foot down. He made one bad throw there where he underthrew Ja'Kai Douglas. That same one, Malik Benson had a step on the cornerback for the fade route. He threw that out of bounds. He may have 2 to 3 bad throws the entire game. The rest of that shit was play calling. Like, what are we talking about? We had a 15-play drive for a touchdown where he converted multiple fourth downs. Long TD, this, that, and the third. He let DJU throw the ball down the field, and look what happened. We had results. We had progress. I don't get it. You don't, and even Booker McFarland, the ESPN analyst, he saw it last night in the game too. Let your quarterback. Mike Norvell did not let DJU quarterback, and that it makes no sense. It's a walking contradiction from what you told us. You pretty much lying to our face because you said throughout preseason, and I even saw the practices I went to, you was actually throwing the ball downfield, but you said it in preseason in regards to DJU playing well. He's got a good grasp of the offense. He's playing good football. He's ahead of the curve in regards to this, that, and the third. The receivers have been playing great down the last few games. Now, granted, the receivers had struggles early in camp, but none of that shit translated to Georgia Tech. Those guys made plays when they had the opportunity given to them. Ja'Kai Douglas made some big-time plays. Malik Benson, the fourth, they made some big-time plays. But again, though, so I feel like we were lied to by Mike Norvell. It was a clear trust issue for whatever reason. And also, you're not building confidence in your quarterback with the play calling that you're calling. If you truly believe in him, let him roll and let him do his third and let him gunsling the fucking ball. But if you're going to play, we got a super chat real quick, and I'll jump to my tape. Is it true that third team used to have to make checkdowns most of the time when you played? If so, we're fucked. What? I'm not sure what you mean by 13 used to have to make checkdowns. You're meaning, no, I'm 100% sure that Jordan Travis wasn't creating his own plays or anything like that. Any checkdown, this, that, and the third, and Jordan Travis had a full grasp of the offense. That was clear as day last year. But any checkdowns that Jordan Travis made last year was already coached within the playbook. It's just a factor of Mike Norvell actually trusting Jordan Travis to make those, I guess, checkdowns, this, that, and the third, versus the vanilla play calling he had with DJU. But again, though, no, so Jordan Travis wasn't just checked down or making audibles on his own. Hell no, that wasn't the case at all. Appreciate the super chat though, but no, to back to the point in regards to the play calling, that really upset me because when we needed to, those last 2 drives with DJU, he was throwing the damn ball downfield and we were stretching him out and had freaking, and we had progress. So that was the issue, and I do think we should get DJU more involved in the run game as well too. I think he was a little timid on some of those runs, but when you're 3rd and 2, you're pulling guys, and go forward, man. Go forward. But if we're going to have a trust issue and you're going to call pretty much Mike Norvell called a Louisville Brock Glenn type of game for DJU, which is fucking crazy to me. So if we're going to have that type of play calling, that type of approach, why do we bring in DJU in the first place? I'd rather we take our lumps with Brock Glenn this year and build upon those young quarterbacks versus, bringing in a seasoned guy like DJU and play him the exact same, play call the exact same way you play called in the ACC championship game versus Georgia when you have a true freshman. If we're going to do that, shit, Brock Glenn should have been the damn starter quarterback from spring throughout now and getting all those first team reps. If we're being quite frank. So Mike Norvell definitely, and I will say this, Mike adapts. He doesn't, Mike learns. I'm pounding on Mike, and you guys know Mike is my fucking guy. I've been on the forefront for Mike before anybody else for the most part, this, that, and the third. Love what he did at Memphis and those type of deals. And he's the type of guy that really doesn't make the same mistakes twice. So I don't foresee that type of bad play call and move forward in the future. But again, he has to be held accountable for yesterday. And yesterday he stunk as a play caller, just quite frankly what it is. And like I said, the quarterback didn't look bad at all. He was 19 for 27, 193 yards. What he was asked to do, he did what he was asked to do. He missed, like I said, he missed like 3 throws, 1 throw across the middle where he had, I want to say, Jaylen Brown open. So 3 to 4 throws that he possibly missed. I'm cool with that. You missed 3 to 4 throws within 27 damn attempts. 3 to 4 bad throws within 27 attempts. That's not the issue. The issue is, like I said, pushing the damn ball downfield, giving these receivers and quarterbacks opportunities. Because from what I saw, the receivers weren't bad yesterday. DJ wasn't bad yesterday. The receivers got open and made plays when the opportunity presented themselves. It's just for the simple fact that opportunity wasn't given to them that much often. We tried to force feed the run, and Georgia Tech clearly sold out and shut that shit down and said, beat us through the air. And Mike Norvell didn't want to do that until the last 2 possessions of the game. You had results. So you factor in, I feel like just as a total collection, the team has played terrible overall. Offensively, defensively, we were just soft as hell at the point of attack. We look confused in certain situations. Georgia Tech pretty much had us on, instead of being on the attack defense, we were passive and waiting defensively, which you can't do. I told you, pretty much it's crazy. How Georgia Tech attacked us on defense with our offense and our pulling and slow developing plays, that's exactly how we should attack Georgia Tech on defense. Not waiting, not reacting. Not waiting, and how can I put this? You want to react, but you don't want to wait and get out of position and be passive. You want to be aggressive and meet that shit where it's at and stop it before it can develop. So if we would have did that versus Georgia Tech and just played with some damn nuts on defense, man, like you can't have a 14-play drive, 11-play drive, and a 16-play drive to close the fucking game. Like you have, I don't know how in the hell you have 6 minutes left on the clock with 3 timeouts, and you let them drive the length of the field for a field goal with 0 seconds on the clock. Right? That's just crazy to me. But again, you still had way more opportunities to score more than 21 points. Shout out to Fitzgerald, man, the MVP of the game, 51-yarder and 59-yarder. Know that shit's kind of overshadowed by the loss in Mike Norvell, this and third, but damn, man, you had a great fucking game to keep us even in striking distance. But again, we played our worst game from a PFF score since 2021, and we still, only lost by 3 damn points, had a chance to actually win the game in certain situations, right? So we played, I say that to say this, we played that fucking terrible and still had a damn chance to win it. So I do think we could correct some things and get back on the right track, but I got to see it with my own eyes first. We do have Boston College on deck to kind of get right against and moving forward. But yeah, if we don't have any changes, man, it could be a 8-4 type of season, in my opinion. But again, like I said, worst PFF grade overall since 2021. That is a little bit of optimism you can kind of build on because you played your worst game in a long time and still had a shot to win the game. And Georgia Tech, and I don't want to take anything away from Georgia Tech, they were a 7-6, 6-7 ball club last year, brought majority of those guys back. We said they would be pretty solid, formidable ACC team within this year, but that's no excuse to lose to them. But I say that to say this: if we play better to our potential, since the worst game since 2021, I do think we could kind of there's no way we get worse than that. Put it that way. That was like terrible bottom tier FSU football. One of those bad games. It doesn't get any worse than that. And we still have a chance to actually win the game. But again, if we just have some nuts offensively and let the quarterback be the quarterback, then we can do some damn things and make some stuff shake. But I do still believe in the run game. But sometimes you just got to put a hat for a hat and bully some people. Like you recruit this offensive line, you have all these starts, you have these veterans, you have size, this, that, and the third. Show it. But I do agree, Mike Norvell has to get a mean streak in him and he has to get that dog in him, quite frankly. Let's try to open this thing up for calls. We got about 200 plus that's just hanging out. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't locked in with DoakTalk. We do this every damn week. We're going to be recapping the games, good or bad. It's been mostly good, right? But we're going to recap the games, of course. I'm also throwing another element in within DoakTalk, as far as Little Miami Hurricane talk as well. So me and my guy Larion, mostly on Thursdays, we'll be going live just to discussing Miami football and Florida State football on a week-by-week basis, discussing the wins, the losses, the previous games, and the upcoming games, of course. And there's also going to be behind enemy lines. Every game, I'm going to try to get a reporter on from the opposing team just to give you guys some information in regards to the upcoming opponent and, try to get some insight from their side, because as an FSU guy, I can only tell you so much about a Georgia Tech, a Boston College, or SMU. So we want to get you guys well-versed within that team and get you some information from their beat. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel. And also, I know we lost, but please, if you guys are coming to hang out in Dope Camel this weekend and coming to FSU for Labor Day, make sure you guys grab a tailgate ticket. Grab a tailgate ticket to come hang out with me and James Coleman. Best tailgate smoking in Tallahassee. We're going to hang out real good. All right, man, we got a caller on. Justin, what's good? Talk to me.
And all I can say is, you right. That is the worst Florida State football we have had in 3 years. Game one. In 3 years in game one. I am totally concerned about Mike not having Alex Atkins. That was like blatantly. Everybody's going to gloss over that fact right there. O-line, you had 69, 67, and 52 out there looking like they was Olaying. Like, Olay, like straight. I couldn't even explain it if I was cussing the TV out so bad. The D tackles, I'm not even worried about the D tackles for real, because them boys got away with a lot of holding. And if you go back and watch, you'll see the back of the jerseys being held, pulled, the linebackers getting pulled and stuff. Of course, you're not supposed to let them get their hands on you. But, the D line, I'm really not. The 5 and 6. I really ain't worried about. Those boys can correct from the mistakes that they made. And the depth, you got to give the depth some good too. Daniel Lyons look good, right? I forgot the other one that they had. I think it was 90 something. He looked good. He came in. They played gaps now. Marvin Jones Jr. need to get used to playing at Florida State. Georgia, you get calls. Florida State, you don't get calls. And ain't no complaining about it, and ain't no crying about it. You go out there, you bust somebody in the mouth, play after play after play after play. But overall, I say the secondary did okay. Couple of busts in there. The front seven definitely got to get better. And the tackling, man. The tackling was atrocious, bro. I'm talking about atrocious, man. Boy, I can't even imagine. Like, eight had a 2-yard loss that turned into a 5 or 6 yard gain. The referees weren't even blowing the whistle dead when momentum was stopped, so they was allowing the pushing of the ball carrier. So I really don't think we really got out physical. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I'm gonna look at it like they gave Georgia Tech a lot more leeway than they gave us, because the same stuff that we did, they did penalize. When we did start holding, they did penalize us for it. But Georgia Tech was holding on that edge all day, and it was holding up that middle, especially like when they brought their splits down. Nobody saw that coming. Tech brought their splits down, and then we kept playing wide too. If nobody ever seen that, to try to keep them in the pocket. Oh man, it's just so. That game was all over the place to where it's like you see the good that could happen if Mike opens up the playbook. Like, bro, when you said that about the playbook, I really thought about it like I think Alex Atkins is that other voice in the room. When Mike wants to run the ball and keep running the ball, Alex may hit him with the let's try play action. Let's do play action. I don't think he had that other voice, in the room. And then I like to say our wide receivers did do some good work when they showed right down the field route running. The wide receivers did get a little separation. It was the deep ball to 10 that should have been inside. If he would have cut it across his face, that was a touchdown. The deep ball to 0, if he would have bring it inside, that was a touchdown. So you said that's
Okay,
14
bro. He
points.
probably had he. Yeah, I agree there, but he only had like a few misses on the opportunities they let him throw the ball downfield. So people want to say DJ, they're just trying to go with that bullshit there. If DJ, you was not the issue yesterday.
Not at all. Nine was running a tad bit timid after the first drive. I don't know if he like tweaked something or something like that. But I ain't never seen Todd Philly like stretch it out like that much. He normally cuts up, get 1-2 yards, and get what we can get. But nah, I don't think DJ used the issue. I really think for real, the middle of the field was wide open every time we needed to play. We said that excuse me, not we. I wish I could put myself in that position. But you guys who got these shows, y'all been saying that the middle of the field is wide open on Georgia Tech's defense. We just did not exploit that. And I got to put that on Mike trying to bully ball because he got the first drive and we ran it in. And then the second drive, just like we crossing the 50. Why are we stalling out crossing the 50? Were we doing that in 2022 in
It was certain
21?
situations. It was certain situations where we get positive. Well, I guess you could say we have a positive drive, but then we'll make a boneheaded play and get behind the sticks, and that'll throw us off. But hell, this my issue with that. I think because yeah, man, it's just situations where Michael get going offensively, and then we have a bad play call here, a bad play call there. It goes for negative yardage, and that kind of throws us off. But go ahead, go get your last take off, man. We got about 6, 7 callers
Gotcha,
tapped
gotcha.
in on that take off. So go
My
ahead,
last
get your last.
last take is I expect these boys to be hungry for the rest of the season. I expect these guys to understand what to expect the rest of the season. And you can't climb if you don't have any adversity. If you're already at the top, there's nowhere to climb to. Not saying like the season starts over, but if we're climbing, we need to climb for like excellence. And right now, everybody has something that they could go back to the drawing board to go work on. I like this using this as a teaching tool. Appreciate the show, man. Keep up the good work, and tell Larry on he is always the king of the house of liars.
Hey, appreciate the support, bro. Most definitely. Most definitely. And before we get the next person in, real quick, there's one more play I guess I want to point out. Like at third and Georgia Tech had the block snap ended up being 3rd and 18. Would have been like a 55 plus yard field goal. I had really good confidence in that kicker missing that field goal. If we would have, held them to that area of the field, like we give up 12 fucking yards on a quick damn receiver. And Georgia Tech pretty much was saying, okay, let's get a few yards to get out of bounds, just that and third. But it shit turned to a 12-yard game because guys aren't being in position, guys aren't physical. So you negate the damn botch snap for the 3rd and 18. You're pretty much back in the same situation. But just wanted to get that take off. Let's get the next caller going. What we got? Tony, what you got, bro? You on?
What's up, guys? It's a lot of feedback. Can y'all hear that too?
Tony, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you guys hear me?
You got some audio issues.
Yeah, somebody needs to go
Audio
on mute.
issues with Tony. That's why I get the next one. No, not you, Tony. Yeah, Tony on. Sorry. Let's go ahead and get somebody else on, Harlan.
Yeah, I'm Tony's here. I can hear you
All
guys.
right, cool. Tony, be perfect. What you got, man? Get your take
Hey,
off.
what's up, y'all boys? All right, I just got a couple things I want to hit on real quick. The first one is Patrick Payton. I'm not convinced that Patrick Payton really wants to play football yet, and I don't know like what the issue is. It's like his demeanor is just lackadaisical. He doesn't seem like he really has that fire in him, and he just kind of went missing yesterday. So that was the first thing I wanted to get off. There's a lot of feedback. I don't know if somebody else needs to go on mute. I don't know who that is, but
We can have the backstage mute. Everybody backstage mute for us. We can try to get this.
there
Let
you
Tony get
go.
his take off.
All right, cool. All right, so the first one was Patrick Payton. I need to see more out of that guy because I mean that was a guy that we think he might be a fringe first round pick coming into this year, but I didn't see any of that yesterday. The second thing was Earl Little Jr. Like I don't know what I've kind he's kind of been a question mark for me coming into the season. Didn't hear much about him in the preseason reports, and then yesterday Haynes King missed his receiver. I mean, just by a couple yards, and Earl Little Jr. was just trailing the receiver, just like jogging, as if that play couldn't have gone for a touchdown. So that was the first thing. And all three of my takes are gonna be on the defense side of the ball. And the third thing is just like you already mentioned the linebackers and just like tackling. I, I watched some of the the practice tape that they're able to show in on YouTube and things like that. And some of the drills that I see us doing are like it's like we got tackling is like our least concern, but yesterday it was very apparent that we clearly don't know how to tackle. I saw Omar Graham running in the same direction as the running back, but he was like 2-3 yards ahead of the guy. So overall, bro, it was just very disappointing. I think a lot of us have been getting really hyped up by some of these preseason reports and hearing things like, this team might be potentially better than last year. So for us to come out and see that, what they put out there last, yesterday morning or yesterday afternoon, it was just crazy, bro. But the D line is the one thing, the one unit that I would say the D line and the O line. Those are the two units that got manhandled the most, but that were supposed to be, arguably the strengths of our team. So I'll land there. See what your thoughts are on that. But please give me your take on Patrick Payton, dog, because I can't. I'm scratching my head on that one. Oh, oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. And while we wait for CJ to come back, I would throw in. I live in Atlanta, so I live over here by Georgia Tech. So seeing that yesterday was kind of it hit a little different for me.
Nah, man, because I was watching the. Sorry, Tony had to jump back in. I was watching the FAMU and Norfolk game,
hmm
and there was I guess a building downtown in Atlanta was saying Stingham. That shit kind of pissed me off. I
Yeah,
was like,
I was at the FAMU game. I went to the game too. That was the only thing that kind of eased my spirit after FSU yesterday. But yeah, that's again, yeah, Midtown Atlanta is they got all kind of stuff up here about them winning yesterday. But yeah, CJ, I was just asking before you dropped. I was asking for your thoughts on Patrick Payton. Like, what's your take on him and like how he performed yesterday?
hey guys, anybody in the back room, can you please mute? It's an echo going on. All right, yeah. So Tony, just to just to answer your question, man, I agree. Pat Pate was disappointing yesterday, and also I had to take about Pat Pate too in regards to his pass breakups last year. A lot of his pass breakups, he got 10 of them. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of times he pretty much would stall on the pass rush and kind of just wait around for the ball to be thrown. And last year you could do that because you have Jerry Verse on the other end that's going hard as hell trying to get to the quarterback. Braden Fitz in the middle getting to the quarterback, and Pat Pate kind of lagging back a little bit, playing those passing lanes.
All right.
You can't do that shit now, man, because we don't have that interior pass rush. There isn't a Jerry Verse on the other side. You are the main guy as the pass rusher, so you gotta, you know, give maximum effort all the time in those passing downs. So I agree with you. It was a lot to be desired in the passing game, in the run game. I will say, especially in the run game, that was my biggest issue with Pat Pate, just too soft in the run game. But I will say this: there wasn't really many true drop back pass rush situations for those guys.
That's true.
But overall, though, no. But you got to establish the run. That's something that Jared Verse fucking did greatly. And a lot of defensive ends don't do this. And that's why I feel like Jared Verse was so damn valuable and good. He played that run just as well as he's played that pass. Like Jared Verse was a physical motherfucker in that run game.
Exactly.
And we saw that missing element yesterday on the edge.
Yeah, agreed, man. Cool, bro. Thanks for taking my call.
No problem, bro. Appreciate you joining, man.
Sir.
Again, man, appreciate y'all hanging out. Make sure you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel, see what the next caller talking about. Who we got next? Todd Jerome, talk to me, bro. Todd, you there? All right, let's go to the next. My boy Ron, what's good, bro? What's good, Ron? You there?
You hear me?
Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, you're good.
All right, man. Whew, boy. Yeah, it was. Man, I tell you what, it felt like Georgia Tech's and their defensive staff particularly, they adjusted really well to what we were doing yesterday after that first drive that looked so easy, and it felt as if we made no adjustments, um, particularly on defense, and that's why I don't really take much stock into first drive success. I'm happy to get the points and everything, but once you get past that first drive, now they have a basis to adjust on, and they can go from there. And it seems like we never went from there, so to speak, with our coaching staff. I also feel like we got dominated on both lines of scrimmage. Um, Obviously, the tackling, you could see the tackling wasn't great. Um, and I also felt like our run fits just weren't sound at all. But to be honest with you, I think the person we missed the most was Alex Atkins. I think ultimately not having him on the sideline for the O line to kind of go to and say, okay, this is what we're seeing on this front. This is when we line up in this. They're sending this person X Y Z. For him not to be there, that was big. So
No, I think I agree in that regard because it was clearly a disconnect in regards to the offensive line as far as picking up certain things. Rob Scott being inserted, I'm not sure if that was part of the plan or not, but damn, that shit, I didn't like that at all as well. But again, I do agree as far as the defensive side for sure, man. It was really no adjustments, and on our part, I guess offensively and defensively, there wasn't any adjustments on our part. But at the same time, like I said, once you get beat physically on both sides of the line of scrimmage,
yeah,
it's very. I mean, that shit was glaring too, very glaring.
yeah. I mean, kind of on a side note, man. Bro, if there was never a stereotypical middle linebacker in football, it's 44 for Virginia for Georgia Tech, man. Yeah,
So, so
I
let's
could
speak
tell
about
by the
that for a
way
little bit. What was his
his jersey
strength?
fits that he
Man, that
wasn't playing
motherfucker had
any
a neck
games.
collar on. What was his strengths? So let's speak about that for a second. What was his strengths?
I mean, shit, physically,
Just
I
as far as his game, what does he excel at on the football field? What part of the football field does he excel the best at?
I'd have to break down film, but just from
From what you saw within us, it was pretty
yeah,
much his run game within the trenches, within the tackle box, right?
I think for one, when he hits you, you don't move forward.
Correct. I guess the point I'm trying to get at is his strengths was pretty much what we were doing, running the football, playing within the
Yeah,
trenches, that type of deal.
he's a
Why
phone
don't
booth
we?
guy.
But his weaknesses where I feel like was pass coverage and playing in space. So why don't we line a guy? Why don't we spread this shit out? You got Lawrence to a fit. Pretty much what Mike Norvell has done over the years. He's done a good job of noticing weaknesses and attacking weaknesses. We didn't do that at all. So what I'm saying is we could have easily put that guy out in space and tried to make him cover our tight ends, our running backs, and had advantages within that because the kid couldn't cover. He didn't move well in space. He was a tight, confined guy that played close to the line of scrimmage. So if we actually took away his strengths and made him uncomfortable, we could have been more successful on offense, in my opinion.
Hell, even honestly, man, we had success in the screen game. We had success in the screen game basically the whole first half, and who better at the screen game on our roster than Lawrence? Like, I honestly, I expected him to be a bigger part of the game plan yesterday. I was a bit disappointed by that, because for me, and I think you mentioned this as well, but for me, I think he's going to be our offensive MVP this season when everything's said and done. So I want to see the ball in his hands more. However that happens, screen game, whatever. I don't care. Um,
Lawrence
man,
Toro Phillips should get at minimum 15 touches a game. Within the pass to get running, no less than 15 at any point in the season. He shouldn't get no less than 15, in my opinion.
yeah, and I don't care where they are in the game. I don't care if he's starting, whatever the case is, because it did catch my eye yesterday that he didn't start, but sure enough, man, he scores the first touchdown of the season. So I don't care how it is, however it is in the flow of the game. Get him the ball. Get him the ball. Let's get him in space, and let's get him doing what he does well. So, but yeah, I do agree with you. 44 is definitely, he's a phone booth guy, man. Tackle to tackle, he's gonna be stout. He's gonna hold his own, and coverage is when it gets a bit sticky. So, but yeah, I just wanted to call and tap in with you, man.
Appreciate you, bro. Man, you know, it's always good having ball talk with you, man. But yeah, I agree, man, 100%. Appreciate you joining, dog.
Appreciate you having me, bro. Be easy.
All right, who we got next? Rush, you on? Rush, you mute. Yeah. All
Hey,
right,
what's
Prop,
going
I'm
on,
switching
man?
over to you. You're on, my boy.
Hey, yeah, I'm gonna try to blanket everything. Can y'all hear me?
You now.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to blanket everything, man. I'm gonna piggyback on what you just followed up with the linebacker from Georgia Tech, man. He played the gaps terrific. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what we should have been doing. You know what I'm saying? Our linebacker play, man. They took horrible lineups and as far as getting into the boxes that they were supposed to get into. That was our biggest downfall on that. We tacking the same boxes because I was like looking at the film and I'm like, why is part of the field so wide open? That's because you got the linebackers following behind each other or getting trapped up and not shedding the blocks. The D line it was definitely depressing, man. You know what I'm saying? From we've been hearing so much in the offseason. I was a big fan of what I assumed Daryl Jackson was going to follow up with. From hearing about how he was beating out Braden Fisk early in in the off season before he started up. So I thought we was going, our D line was going to be a big prize point, especially when you got Patrick Payton, Marvin Jones. I wasn't too sure about what he was going to do. And then you have Joshua Farmer. You know what I'm saying? We all knew what Joshua Farmer did last year. So, but there was no tenacity at all. It was like Georgia Tech, their defense, man, it was very active and aggressive. Like they wanted us to do exactly what we did, and we couldn't beat them on it. You know what I'm saying? And on the flip side, when it was time for our defense to do it, we couldn't. have that same. I don't see no dogs on this defense. As of now, I ain't gonna shed that over for the rest of the season. But as of now, I don't see that clear leader, clear dog to where, hey, like you said, you have Jared Verse or Braden Fish. Like I know at some point, hey, it's 3rd and fucking 3. This motherfucker gonna make a play. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody's gonna come out here and make a play, make a big stop. We don't have that at all. Another reason I thought defense would have been our biggest strong point going into the season. And I was kind of worried about the offense. Just because of the unknowns. The running back rooms I was fine with in the offensive line. I thought we were gonna be good. I thought DJU, he'll be serviceable enough for us to, get these wins. It's really just a, wide receiver play and, DJU, I guess, getting it to him. But we didn't. Now it's flipped to where it's like, damn, okay, now I'm worried about the defense. The offense, I think we were just handcuffed by Mike Norvell. He was one that really kind of crippled us, going through it. We only had a couple deep shots down the field. There was one with running backs. I don't understand. I knew Cam Davis was gonna get some burn this year, but I didn't expect it to be so soon. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think in these situations that you put a true freshman out there, and I love Cam Davis. I think he's gonna be great for us. But when you have like pass protection is one of the things that takes running backs a couple years to develop and and perfect. So if you in those situations, Norvell got to put us in better situations. Like you don't put him out there to be a pass catching back. That's not his forte, uh, especially while it's raining. You don't do that. Like if there was one play down to Benson, and DJU he pump fake. I was like, wow. What I noticed by him trying to get down to Benson, what he ended up doing was, I think it was Cam Davis. He missed the block. He missed the block that caused DJU to pump fake in order to save from a turnover, and then he ended up missing the second pass down to Benson. So that's really like all my takes of my blanket takes for everything. I think we're gonna be fine offensively. Once Norvell opens this up. Defense, yeah, they got to show me more, but I'm okay with the offense for what was shown for little what was put out there. And I think with the running backs, you have to put out. You got to keep sticking with your guys, Tor Philly and Roy Dale. You have to keep going with them. And then we heard so much about Sam. We heard so much about Sam Singleton in the off season about how the big plays that he made. I didn't see him at all. So I mean, that's all my takes, man. I tried to blanket everything, but sorry for over talking.
Nah, bro, you're good, man. Good stuff, really good stuff. I agree with your takes for the most part, for sure. Real good stuff and good insight. I appreciate your problem. Let's get somebody else going now. Who we got next? Tammy.
Hello? Can you hear me? I can't hear anything. Hello?
And also, if you guys are in the backdrop, waiting to get added to the screen, please mute. Please mute. All right, who we got on now?
Hello?
Tammy, you there?
Hello? Hello? I tell you, that football team is about as bad as CJ's Wi-Fi connection. Hello?
I'm here. Talk to me.
Your Wi-Fi connection is about as bad as our football team. I'm sick of this. I haven't got out of bed since the game yesterday. I haven't changed my underwear. I'm pissed. And why is number 9 on scholarship? Why? Can you tell me what was the game plan yesterday? What was it?
Hey, I wish I could get. I guess get beat up front. That was the game plan.
I don't understand it. I lost all my food stamps on the game. I met some people from Georgia. You know, Bluntstown, not that far from the state line. And I had a game party yesterday down at my trailer. I'm pissed. I don't understand it. We had two boys standing towards the back of the field. They were way back. Why they wanted us close to the line of scrimmage like Georgia Tech was? Why we didn't make them beat us throwing the ball? The people had all them little boys up close to the line of scrimmage, and Mike still wanted to run the ball, and it wasn't working.
Tim, you sound exactly how I sounded right after the game yesterday. I promise you.
I don't understand it. And then you got these people that demanded more money in the off season, and they didn't even show up yesterday. Did they even get a passport? Did they make the trip? I don't understand it. And then we got to play Boston College on Labor Day. Please help me understand. We're playing a running quarterback that gave us fits last year. This is ridiculous. I'm just at a loss for words. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm gone because I'm pissed.
I'm pissed too, Tim. Man, I appreciate you. I definitely appreciate you. I'm pissed too. We go keep on having these therapy sessions. Who we got next? Fred, you there? You on mute?
What's going on, big dog? Can you hear me?
What's good, bro? How you doing? Yep, I hear
Yes,
you. How
sir.
you
Yes,
doing?
sir. Yes, sir. Not too much, man. I'm just gonna come in and I ain't gonna be too long, man. Defense. We all know what the defense did yesterday. Me, honestly, man, I would like to see a little more Earl Little and a little more Brown in the box, if that possibly can happen. Uh, More Nichols, like you said, Blake Nichols, he played a good game. I don't know why we just didn't go cover zero yesterday, man, and just shoot all the gaps up the middle, and then cover the edge as well, man. A lot of, like you said, a lot of we had a quarterback stopped in the backfield, but a lineman assignment, we let the quarterback get outside. You know what I mean? Uh, I think we just got to be more physical on the defense side of the ball, man. I think we got to add more pressure this year because we don't have the pass rush, like you said, as we had last year. So I think we're gonna have to run a lot of man to man, and send a lot of pressure up the middle. We're gonna have to do a better job of hiding DJ Lundy when it comes to teams matching him up like against like a running back or
See, that's what I'm saying too. But not to cut you off though. I agree there, but on the flip end, I think Blake should be that guy in those situations because from an athletic standpoint, he has it all. He just has to get more reps in order to be that guy. I agree with you. We got to make some changes because they clearly expose Lundy in certain situations.
and then also as well, man. I noticed a lot of times too, man, on offense side of the ball. Um, Georgia Tech, there was in a lot of like too high safeties, and we couldn't really run the ball. A lot of like missed blocks, man, when it comes to like the tight ends and also the receiver on the outside, man. They did a good job as receiver, like route running, but when it came to blocking, like we got to be able to block, man. A lot of times the running back, we got to be able to make guys miss in the hole. You know what I mean? I would like to see more of Holmes yesterday. I think he only got like what 1 or 2 carries. I would like to see him more in the run game. You know what I mean? Other than that, man, I think Hakeem Williams when he comes back, he gonna I know a lot of people like to joke about him being a blocking receiver, but you know that's important. You know what I mean? Like we gotta be able to set that edge. You know what I mean? And uh, I think we're gonna be all right, man. You put out a tweet said you think we should go play action. Bomb first play. That actually was a great tweet. You know what I mean? Like we just got too started too late, a little too late, man. I think DJU gonna be all right. O line they got to be better up front. But like I said, I want to see a little more Earl Little and a little more Shaheem Brown, and a little more Hussey as well, man. Like we got to start implementing these guys in, man. Earl Little to me, I don't think he's a slot receiver cover. I think he more like a tight end running back type of, come off the edge blitz. I think we got to use him, a little more better to, his skill set. You know what I mean? I like Shaheem Brown. He brings that physicality. I think we could probably put him a little more in the box. I think we just don't have the passing linebackers like we had last year, especially going against Boston College. Man, we got to bring more of these speed. We got to get more speed in the box and be able to contain the outside. But that's pretty much my take on it, man. Other than that, I think we'll be all right though.
To your point in regards to Earl Little, I think if we could use him similar to how we use Jamie Robinson, that'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. Appreciate the take though, bro. Let's go ahead and see who we got on next. And we got some decent people here, man. If you guys like this video, we haven't subscribed to the channel. Come be a part of the DoakTalk community. Who do we have next up? Bashar, you there? You're on mute, bro. Give me a take. Give me a take. What you got? No. We here? We good? All right. Nah. Let's move on to the next. I can't hear him.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Rush? What's good? Talk
I'm
to me.
doing good. I'm doing good. Um, this what I have to say, right? When we went 13-0, right? How many times in those 13 games was it like the other team was in it to the fourth quarter, right? I mean, even in those 13 games that we won, how many times did we just go out there and just Bobby style, just beat the shit out of somebody, you know? And it was always some of those key players that we lost last year that would get us out of those games, man. I felt like yesterday, right? We played as if Keon and Johnny and Burst and Fisk was still out there on the field, right? I mean, we made no adjustments to anything that Georgia Tech did, right? I mean, if you think about it, I mean, we almost lost to Boston College last year, right? So I don't know. I just feel like you know, with the money that's been invested in this team, uh, we gotta have adjustments gotta be made, just like Georgia Tech made adjustments. After the first series, they made adjustments. We came out, we did the same thing. We did the same thing. Third and long, we running the ball. I just don't understand that. Man, I just hope that I just don't I see that this moving forward, man, based on what we had last year or how we played last year, people will not you gotta feel me on this now. We didn't beat the brakes off of nobody last year. Did we really just beat the brakes off of people last year? Come in and dominate. Remember the lost quarters that we had when we would be up 17-0, then we would just go dead for a quarter. How many times did that happen? Right? I mean, I thank you for allowing me to come on your platform. I just wanted to state that, but it's got to be some changing and coaching philosophy. It's got to be some taking the reins off. I mean, if we paid this man to come here, why we not trusting him? You know what I'm saying? We paid him to come to Oregon. We gotta trust him. Let the man throw the ball. I mean, something for some reason he would not take the reins off that man until the fourth quarter. We wait till it's too late. Thank you, man. I appreciate you for letting me come on your platform, bro.
No problem, dog. I agree with that take 100%. Appreciate you for joining. All right, who we got next on deck? I'm enjoying I'm enjoying the therapy session. I know, man. Let's all let it out. It's okay. We're gonna talk through it. And if you up, bro. You on mute right now. Unmute your mic. Your mic is still muted, fam.
Hey guys, can y'all hear me?
There you go.
Hey guys, can
Talk to
y'all
me.
hear
What you
me?
got?
So I agree with the young woman Phyllis, man. She
You
hit it
kind of
straight
low,
up.
Carter.
I mean,
Can you hear him pretty good, or is it me?
hey, can y'all hear me better now? Can y'all hear me better now? Can you guys hear me? Hey, can you guys hear me? Thanks.
Jesus Christ. And if you hear me,
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
all right. My apologies. Go ahead, bro.
Hey, CJ, thanks for having us on this morning. Harlan, thanks for working through those kinks, man. I know how it is, but hey, I agree with the old woman, Phyllis, man. I think she nailed it. I love the passion she brought. I think everything she said, I agree with. But here's the thing: I'm no coach, man. You know, we on here, we kicking it, we giving our opinions. I appreciate the platform for letting us do this, but I'm not going to talk about X's and O's, fellas. But we all can agree. It don't matter if you started watching football yesterday. What scares me the most on every aspect of the game, except the kicking unit, where was the effort? Where was the physicality? Those things are scary, man, because that's what we in the offseason thought we were getting. You know, and so what we got to realize, man, is that yeah, the coaching staff they got to make decisions. But I don't know if you guys would agree. If we would have had the things I just spoke about, we would have won that game yesterday because it really wasn't about them being the better team. It was what we didn't bring to the table on all units. So that's scary to me. And I've been watching college football for a long time. I'm an old head. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of these young bucks. So that's what scares me, CJ. I know you talk about it all the time. That's why I follow you, man. You be hitting on a lot of those points because you were overhead too in the similar way. You bring out some of those same points. But man, it's scary, CJ. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to figure out the answers, but hopefully in the next coming days, that coaching staff will, because that's what they get paid to do. I still trust in Mike. I love him to death. CJ, we got to figure it out, my man. But I just wanted to add my 2 cents. That's all it is. Like I said, I ain't hitting on no X's and O's. I wanted to leave y'all with that, but I appreciate it. Go Nose.
No, I appreciate that, man. Real good take. Good stuff, NFU. Thank you for joining. Real good stuff. Who we got next on deck? I think I see my boy kind of jump in. I definitely got to hear from him. KP, what's good, bro? Talk to
Yo,
me.
yes. What's going on, CJ? What up, boy? Y'all got me?
Keep going.
All right, bruh, listen. All off season, all we heard: D line, O line, D line, O line, trenches. That's all we heard. Fastest team, they bigger, they look stronger, they look great. This guy is gonna be the first man off the bus. He looked awesome. This, that, and the third. Man, we got out there on the field, and them boys pushed us around like we was a whole high school team. I don't know what the hell they thought they were looking at in practices. I don't know what the hell was going on. I don't know if it was the flight. I don't know if they went out. I don't know if they just wasn't focused. I don't know what the hell we was just looking at. But what I do know is that I had us going 10-2 this year, possibly after watching that game. I'm not going to jump off the ledge and say that we're going to lose every game for the rest of the season. I'm not going to jump off the ledge and say we finna go down south and them boys finna whoop our ass when we come down here. But what I will say is if that's the effort that we going to see, if that's the line we going to see, if that's the type of play calling we gonna see because people aren't doing their job up front and down low in that trend, we gonna get our ass spanked. That game yesterday reminded me of that Virginia Tech game when Willie Taggart had the whole damn offense out there, all of the special teams out there doing the damn swag serve. It was terrible. All the hype that we had in the offseason, and we just watched them boys go out there with their chest puffed out, and a whole bunch of engineers, a whole bunch of math majors, a whole bunch of dudes that ain't doing nothing up there. They ain't got no strings to go run down on. They ain't shit up there but 60,000 dudes and about 18 girls in that whole school that they got up there. They came in there and they pushed our shit in like we was a dude fresh off the bus going into the cell blocks. It was terrible. That was terrible. I ain't gonna harp on DJU too much. New guy, he was out there looking okay, but that's what we expected. We expected him to be a game manager for us to keep this machine going. What worried me the most about this whole thing, it seems like he was a hair late pulling the trigger. I did see the receivers were open. I went back and watched the game for a second and a third time. Malik Benson was wide open quite a few times. Routes and the timing on his routes was looking real good. I saw when they what they kept doing was they kept swapping the receivers out. And that was bothering me because I'm like, if Malik open over here and he not hitting them, at least I'm looking to the other side. You see Jakai was getting open in the middle of the field. And then from time to time, they'll have Williamson over there on the right-hand side. He was opening his breaks. Yeah, he wasn't beating his man, but he was open on his break. So if the timing was there, he was able to hit them shots. And then we can try to move the ball a little bit more downfield. I was like, I don't understand what the hell they had going on. But that really was the concern for me because when he had the time to throw, he just didn't pull the trigger. He didn't pull the trigger. And I'm going to tell you what really clued me off on this. If y'all go back and y'all watch that very first drive, go back and watch that very first drive. On the play where Toafili actually takes off and gets the touchdown, look at where the O line is. All right, the D tackle for Georgia Tech is in a lap when DJ is handing Toafili the ball. All right, even on the play before that, when we saw Jalen Lucas break out, cut outside, and take off upfield, the defensive line is in the backfield. What the hell are these dudes doing on the O line? What are they doing? I don't know what they doing out here. It was abysmal from top to bottom. I was mad as hell. They had me in here sipping on an 18-year Macallan. I ain't sipped on an 18-year Macallan for the last 2 years now. This don't make no damn sense. I had me a whole fresh bottle of something. I'm like, yeah, we finna get this season going. And I had a 13-0 season last year. I'm about to have me a nice little time today. I couldn't even bust that up. I had to go drink some old naughty head that I had to get from the corner store. This was terrible. It was terrible, making my life hard. Either way, I'm off this rant. I don't know what's going on out here, but I tell you this right now. Moving forward, we got what, 9 days? They said. I want to see us implement some changes. Let's see if we can get this thing going. When we play Boston College, I'm giving them the first half. They come out with this effort. They come out here with what we just saw this last game. I'm yanking DJ. I'm throwing Brock in. I'm putting Wayne McCoy and all of them young receivers out there. I want Landon, what's his name? Landon Thomas, the tight end that we got, the freshman tight end. I want him out there on the field. I want all youth up front. We could just go ahead and take the rest of the season and let them go. The defenders, lead the defense out there. Y'all getting y'all bread. Y'all boys need to put that film up so that y'all can get to the league. Cool. We gonna let y'all get out there and go to. I want youth movement. That way Mike and them boys can get on the recruiting trail and go talk to every receiver, every running back. They could talk to every tight end. They could talk to every lineman and say, hey, you young, you gonna come up here and get this shine and get this burn. Because I'm tired of all of this other nonsense. I don't know what the hell going on, but this is making my life hard out here. So they gonna get another week out of me. They gonna get another week out of me. After that, all bets off. All bets off. Tiny Hat Gang, we out.
Appreciate you, my boy KB. Much love for sure. Once he put in everybody got one of those straight youth movement. If we don't see some changes next week. Yeah, it's been a tough one for the nose for sure. 100%. But at the same damn time, it is. We have a lot of games left, so we'll see how it plays. My only issue with the offense is just Mike Norvell's the issue, in my opinion. So if Mike can come out and actually open up downfield and the receivers look pretty good and give us a chance, we can make some plays. But defense, I have a lot of questions. When I say a lot of questions, I mean a lot of questions, especially from a physicality standpoint up front, things like that. And also Boston College, you got to understand who we're playing for Boston College. Castellano is a way more better quarterback than Haynes King. He can kill us in a lot more ways running the football. And you guys are familiar with this running back in Trayshawn Ward and what Trayshawn Ward brings to the table. Trayshawn's a very patient running back who pretty much flourishes by making the defense pay for their mistakes. So that's something I'm worried about as well, due to the fact that, linebackers over pursuing, getting out of the gaps, trying to do other people's assignment, not being patient in that type of deal. Trayshawn Walker kill us as well too. We're going to get one more caller in. Brashard, I know you tried to join us earlier. We want to wrap it up with you and go ahead and keep it going. So Brashard, tell me what you got. Is she still there, Harlan? Well, not. If Brashard, you still there? Tell me what you got, bro. Yep. All right, cool. Not a problem, Brashard. We'll catch you on the next go live again or go round again. We're going to be doing this pretty much every week to break down the previous game. So we're going to be back on probably, since we play Boston College on Monday night, probably that Tuesday evening, something like that. We'll get going for these game recaps. We will have the Boston College interview and pregame interview coming out pretty soon. My guy AJ Black, the 247 reporter for BC Eagles, he's going to be coming on to give us some insight for Boston College, to the game. We're probably dropping that Tuesday morning. Make sure you guys tap in with DoakTalk. We're going live again Thursday. With my guy Larry on the big in-state game, the Miami Hurricanes versus the Florida Gators, the second place team in the state game of the year, so to speak. So we'll see what Larry on has to say leading up into that game one in the swamp, and also just break it down. I guess a little slight recap of Georgia Tech and going into the Boston College game. Last thing before we get out of here, if you guys are pulling up to Doak Campbell Stadium for the home opener, make sure you guys grab your tailgate ticket ASAP. Me and James Coleman, former FSU fullback, going to be hanging out pretty good. Lot 19. And all the people that usually come to our tailgates know how good of a time it is. Make sure you guys tap in and grab your ticket. We're going to have a good one. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Go Noles.